These woodlands are living, breathing organisms that you can walk within. Woodlands as far as the eyes can see and beyond. A habitat to thousands of species, so easily concealing themselves within the brush. Some known, some unknown. This first clip, titled Creepy Encounter on Horseback, begins with a horse and rider static, with the horse seemingly unsettled about something. So it's well known that animals can sense a lot of things that we as humans cannot. The rider points his camera in the direction of the trees, and out behind a tree pops the head of an entity. This next clip comes in the form of audio, popular among the Bigfoot community, captured by Ron Moorhead and Al Berry. A group of men at a hunting camp were made aware that they were not alone after they heard unusual vocalizations. The clip you're about to hear is those vocalizations, along with the men mimicking the sounds in an attempt at communication. As I said, very popular among the Bigfoot community, audio that has been examined by professionals which determine these sounds were not made by humans. For anyone familiar with the talk show host Art Bell, rest in peace, Coast to Coast AM, Midnight in the Desert and the like, Art once had a man by the name of Dr. Jonathan Reed on the show, and Dr. Jonathan Reed tells his story.
So, big golden retriever. So as I continued to walk, and I couldn't see her, but I could hear her, and it sounded like she was probably 150 yards up the trail.
It's not too hard to hear when a dog is in distress, because the bark kind of is a little whine comes with it.
Right, and at this point it started to change almost to a yelp. So I knew something had happened, and I grabbed a branch that was laying on the side of the path that was the size of a long baseball bat, and so I just picked it up and I figured, okay, I'm going to go and probably untangle her from a skunk or a raccoon or something. I knew I was close, and I just ran over this little ridge and kind of jumped down through the underbrush, and all of a sudden I saw her engaged with what looked to me at the time like a small size dimension figure, very dark, almost black, and it was the size of a child. It was mostly the size of a child, and at the moment I saw it, it was shaking. It was vibrating like a paint shaker, so you could not really accurately see the outline, the exact outline. It appeared to me at first that my dog had this thing by the arm. And I yelled, "Susie, let go." What I saw was my dog it looked like my dog with her mouth was attached to the forearm of this thing. And they were both vibrating, and my dog was yelping. But then all of a sudden I saw clearly that it wasn't my dog that had a hold of this. It was the arm of the thing that actually extended, if you can imagine, part of your arm molding itself on the head of my dog.
Oh, Lord. You mean kind of disappearing into the head of your dog?
Grabbing the outside of the head of my dog, and then before my very eyes, I saw my dog being torn apart at the jaw. I mean, her body was ripped from her jaw down to her backbone. There was blood everywhere. At this moment, this thing stopped and looked at me. It stopped shaking just for a second and looked at me with these big, dark eyes, and then turned back to my dog, and my dog started to literally implode, literally disintegrate into what looked like a hole in her body. I mean, it literally started to just get smaller, like if you can imagine something vacuuming something up from the inside out. It even became more insane to me, because the second I hit this thing, trying to kill it, and I wanted to kill it, it screamed, I screamed, I think in triumph of trying to stop what I was witnessing, but I almost missed it. I mean, I'm not an athlete. I'm 190 pounds, and but I almost didn't hit it. But as I struck its head, it started to fall down. The branch had breached its skull. It had broken its skull.
So
and it fell to the ground. But not at this moment. But this scream actually came from later on. But it was the same type of scream.
All right, I might be able to play it. Let me see if I can do that. That sound?
That's it. And it was so intense. It was so powerful that it felt like it was pushing against your chest, pushing you away from this. Like it was some kind of defensive move. And at that moment, I think I've got a bigger problem. This thing is alive or half alive, and it's going to kill me for attacking it. And I literally ran in the house.
The link to the full story and full show is below, but it's not just Dr. Reed's story told in audio form. He captured video of the events.
Come on, work. Stop. Come on, work.
An experienced woodsman was exploring the woods one day when he came across something rather odd. 25 missing people's posters, some bedding, a tent, a shovel, a collapsed wooden cage, and a filled-in hole.
Anyway, I'll cut right to the chase because I might die. Look what these fucking are. What the fuck is going on in here? And this isn't like woods I've never been to. Like, I've been here before. I've been here a lot. I've been here so much, I've actually been to the hospital getting stitches because of some of the adventures that I've had. That's beside the point. These are all different fucking people. And they're all just... This is Utah, Florida. They're all different. They're all fucking different. Every single one. This one's from Georgia. And look at this shit. Like, look where the fuck we are. Who the fuck does something like this? One there. There's one there. There's one right in front of me. One there and one there. Let me just, look at that. These are just the ones that I've gone and close up, that I did close-ups of so far. Look at this, What the fuck is this? Carolina Beach, North Carolina, 2009. All of these sticks that you can see, they're all lashed together at right angles, as if to make a cage, or a shelter, or a lean-to, or a trap. And this part right in the middle, it's a hole. It's a filled-in hole, but it's a hole. Oh shit, I heard voices. We have to get the fuck out of here.
So this event takes place in Hellier, Kentucky, with the unfortunates being Dr. David Christie and his family. The strangeness began to occur early December, at which time Dr. Christie was discovering strange tracks around his house. These tracks closely resembled human footprints, minus the heel. In the weeks prior to finding these tracks, on numerous occasions he would find his shed doors open and his children's toys missing or moved, and his yard in general disarray. Second week of January, the family was sat at breakfast when his 5-year-old daughter started talking about the children with no hair. Dr. Christie's wife inquired about these kids with no hair, and her daughter informed them that she had spent the previous night watching them play in the yard, and that they were bald like grandpa and weren't wearing any clothes. Obviously, leaving Dr. Christie with some concerns, and so he installed some motion-activated floodlights, which at the time seemed to eliminate the issue. That was until the end of February, when Dr. Christie and his wife were awoken by their screaming daughter, who told them that the kids were back and trying to peer in through her window. Another night soon after, David was awoken by his dog, unsettled and scratching at the door to be let out. He then noticed the motion sensor lights were activated and could see the shadow of an individual cast across his lawn. The shadow was then quickly joined by another shadow cast in the floodlight, making the doctor aware that he was dealing with more than one entity as he listened to them chirping at one another. It was then in the corner of his eye he noticed a small humanoid figure with sticky pale skin and hairless, standing about 4 feet tall. It had no nose and only a small slit for a mouth. It certainly was no wild animal, and more certain was no child. The creature quickly hopped to the others as they dispersed into the woods, with the doctor counting at least 5 individuals. Since that evening, Dr. Christie's dog had gone missing from the porch, and in search of his dog during daylight hours, Dr. Christie came across an abandoned mine shaft, discovering some of his children's toys scattered at the entrance of the mine. Dr. David Christie moved himself and his family out of the house and contacted an investigator to help him with this issue. Naturally, the investigator wanted proof of these entities before traveling to assist. Dr. Christie complied and supplied the investigator with several photos. Emails were exchanged until they weren't, with Dr. Christie seemingly vanishing off the face of the earth.